Justice is a shadow that bends under pressure. Alex Carter, 18, once ran with thieves in a past cloaked in whispers until he vanished, leaving blood and questions behind. Now a stolen car and a brutal arrest drag him back into the light, facing Judge Hawthorne's gavel in a courtroom crackling with tension. The prosecution smirks, underestimating the kid with no lawyer. But Alex's eyes burn with secrets, his voice sharp as he tears into their case. A single witness steps forward, and the air shifts. His return unravels lies, threatening to shatter the system itself. Subscribe if you care for those in trouble. Another special story awaits. His fight begins now, and nothing will be the same. The truth cuts deeper than the law. The courtroom smelled of polished wood and stale coffee, a sterile mask over the chaos brewing beneath. Alex Carter stood alone at the defendant's table, his hands steady despite the cuffs that had only just been removed. His dark hair fell into his eyes, but he didn't brush it away. He wanted them to see the defiance in his gaze. At 18, he was too young for the weight on his shoulders, yet too old for mercy in their eyes. The charge: grand theft, auto, and resisting arrest. The sentence: a potential decade behind bars. The odds stacked against him from the moment Officer Ramirez dragged him from that borrowed Mustang, blood dripping from a split lip. Judge Hawthorne peered over his glasses, his voice a low rumble. "Mr. Carter, you've declined counsel. You understand the gravity of this decision?" "Yes, Your Honor," Alex replied, his tone clipped but steady. A murmur rippled through the gallery. Skepticism, curiosity, pity. The prosecution, a slick attorney named Hargrove, smirked as he laid out the case. On the night of March 15th, the defendant stole Ms. Delaney's vehicle, fled from police, and resisted arrest with violence. We have video evidence and two credible witnesses. His confidence was a blade, sharp and cold. Alex said nothing, his mind racing. He'd been here before, not in a courtroom, but in moments where survival hung by a thread. 3 years ago, he disappeared from the streets of East Haven after a job went wrong. A heist, a betrayal, a friend left bleeding in an alley. He'd sworn never to look back, to bury that life under layers of silence. But the past had claws, and they'd sunk deep when Ms. Delaney's car keys landed in his hand. Not stolen, borrowed, though no one believed him yet. The triggering event came fast. Officer Ramirez took the stand, his chest puffed with authority. He ran, fought me, nearly broke my arm. His words were rehearsed, too smooth. Alex's jaw tightened. He knew Ramirez, knew the type. A man who bent the truth to fit his badge. "Your Honor," Alex said, stepping forward. "I'd like to question the witness." Hargrove laughed under his breath. Judge Hawthorne raised an eyebrow but nodded. Alex's voice cut through the room like a wire pulled taut. "Officer Ramirez, you say I fought you. Where's the bruise? The report says you subdued me in seconds. How'd I nearly break your arm?" Ramirez faltered, his eyes darting. It was a struggle." "A struggle," Alex echoed, pacing now. "Or a story. You tackled me before I could explain." "Ms. Delaney's my neighbor. She lent me the car." The gallery buzzed. Hargrove's smirk faded. Judge Hawthorne leaned forward, intrigued. Alex felt the shift, a spark igniting in his chest. He wasn't just fighting for freedom. He was clawing his way back from a past that refused to let go. Then came Miss Delaney, her testimony shaky. I don't remember giving him permission," she stammered, avoiding his eyes. Alex's heart sank. She was scared of something bigger than this room. He saw it in her trembling hands, the way she glanced at the door. Someone had gotten to her. As the day ended, Alex sat in his holding cell, the cold concrete biting into his back. He'd rattled them, Ramirez, Hargrove, even Delaney. But the video evidence loomed tomorrow, shaky footage that could bury him. He closed his eyes, hearing the echo of that night 3 years ago. Tires screeching, a scream cut short, his hands stained red. He'd run then. He wouldn't run now. The stakes were clear. If he lost, it wasn't just prison. It was the past swallowing him whole. If he won, he'd expose more than a lie. He'd unravel a web he'd barely begun to see. The courtroom was a battlefield, and Alex Carter was armed with nothing but his wits and a truth no one wanted to hear. The courtroom buzzed like a hive on the edge of collapse as the second day dawned. Alex stood straighter now, his borrowed suit wrinkled, but his resolve ironclad. The fluorescent lights overhead flickered, casting shadows that danced across the faces of the jury. 12 strangers holding his fate. He scanned them. A tired mother, a stern retiree, a young man with restless hands. Could they see past the charges, past the boy they thought he was? He'd have to make them. Hargrove strode in, his polished shoes clicking with purpose. Your Honor, the prosecution presents Exhibit A, security footage from the gas station where the vehicle was taken. A screen flickered to life, and there it was. Grainy, disjointed images of a figure in a hoodie climbing into Miss Delaney's Mustang. The timestamp glowed, 11:47 p.m., March 15th. The figure moved fast, head down, then peeled out as Ramirez's patrol car screeched into frame. Clear as day, Hargrove said, arms crossed. The defendant fleeing the scene. Alex's pulse hammered. The footage was damning. Too damning. He'd been there, yes, but not like this. He remembered that night. The rain-slicked street, Ms. Delaney's voice trembling as she handed him the keys. Just get it back by morning, she'd said, her eyes darting to the shadows. He'd driven to the gas station for her, not from her. Someone had twisted the story, and the tape. Your Honor, Alex said, his voice steady despite the storm inside. I'd like to cross-examine the evidence. Hargrove snorted. It's a video, kid. It doesn't talk. Then I'll make it, Alex shot back. Judge Hawthorne's lips twitched. Amusement or respect, Alex couldn't tell. Proceed, Mr. Carter. Alex approached the screen, pointing at the figure. This hoodie, it's mine. I don't deny that. But look at the timestamp jumps. 11:47 to 11:49. 2 minutes missing. Why? He turned to the jury, his voice rising. Because someone edited it. Where's the part where I walk out of Ms. Delaney's house with her permission? Where's the part where Ramirez pulls up before I even start the engine? The room stilled. The jury leaned forward. Hargrove's face tightened, but he recovered fast. Speculation, Your Honor. The footage is intact. Is it? Alex pressed. I'd like the court to subpoena the full, unedited tape from the gas station. A ripple of whispers erupted. Judge Hawthorne banged his gavel. Order. Mr. Hargrove, can you confirm the tape's integrity? Hargrove hesitated, a beat too long. We'll verify it, he said, his confidence cracking. Alex felt a surge of hope, but it was short-lived. The next witness took the stand. Tommy Vega, a wiry kid with a scar snaking down his cheek. Alex's stomach dropped. Tommy, his old crewmate from East Haven, the one who'd turned on him that night 3 years ago. The night of the heist, the night Alex had fled, leaving Tommy to take the fall. State your name, Hargrove said. Thomas Vega, Tommy replied, his eyes locking onto Alex's. Cold, calculating. And your testimony? I saw Alex Carter steal that car. He bragged about it, said he'd outrun the cops. The lie hit like a punch. Alex's hands clenched into fists. Tommy wasn't just here to testify, he was here to bury him. Revenge, pure and simple. But why now? Why this case? Mr. Carter, Judge Hawthorne said, your cross-examination. Alex stepped forward, his throat tight. Tommy, you haven't seen me in 3 years. Why lie now? Tommy smirked. I don't lie. You're the runner, Alex. Always were. And you're the snake, Alex snapped, voice trembling with fury. Who paid you to say this? Ramirez? Someone higher? The gallery gasped. Tommy's smirk faltered, but he doubled down. No one paid me. You're just a thief. Alex turned to the jury, his chest heaving. He's lying. I don't know why yet, but I'll prove it. That tape will prove it. He pointed at the screen, then at Tommy. This isn't about a car. It's about something bigger, something they don't want you to see. Judge Hawthorne adjourned for the day, ordering the full tape retrieved. As Alex was led back to his cell, he caught Tommy's glare, sharp with malice, and Ms. Delaney's hunched figure slipping out the side door, tears streaking her face. She knew something. Tommy knew something. And Ramirez, pacing by the exit, knew it too. That night, Alex lay on the thin cot, staring at the ceiling. The past wasn't just clawing at him, it was suffocating him. Tommy's return meant the heist wasn't buried. Someone had dug it up, and this trial was the shovel. He thought of that night, the warehouse, the cash, the gunshot. He'd left Tommy to save himself, but not before seeing the figure in the shadows, a man in a suit, watching it all. Whoever that man was, he was back, and Alex was running out of time to find out why. The third day broke with a storm rolling over the courthouse, thunder rumbling like a warning. Rain streaked the windows, blurring the world outside as Alex sat at the defendant's table, his hands restless. The air felt heavy, thick with unspoken threats. He'd barely slept, his mind replaying Tommy's smirk, Ms. Delaney's tears, and the flicker of that edited tape. Today the truth would either rise or drown, and he was the only one pulling it to the surface. Judge Hawthorne entered, his robes swishing like a reaper's cloak. "Counsel, the unedited footage has been retrieved. Let's proceed." Hargrove's jaw tightened as the clerk cued the tape. The screen buzzed to life, and there it was, the full story. Alex walking out of Miss Delaney's house, keys dangling from her hand. No rush, no theft, just a kid doing a favor. Then the gas station. Alex pumping gas, oblivious, until Ramirez's cruiser roared in, lights flashing. No chase, no fight, just a takedown, brutal, unprovoked. The missing 2 minutes had painted a lie, and now the jury saw it unravel. Hargrove leapt up. "This proves nothing. He still resisted." "Did I?" Alex countered, standing. "Look at my hands, up, not fighting. Officer Ramirez attacked first." The jury murmured, heads tilting. Judge Hawthorne's eyes narrowed. "Mr. Carter, your witness." Alex called Miss Delaney back to the stand. She shuffled in, frail and pale, her hands twisting a handkerchief. "Miss Delaney," Alex began, softening his voice. "You lent me the car, didn't you?" Her eyes darted. To Hargrove, to Ramirez, to the door. I don't know." "You do," Alex pressed, stepping closer. "I saw you that night. You were scared. Who's scaring you now?" A sob broke from her. "I can't. They'll hurt me." The gallery erupted. Judge Hawthorne slammed his gavel. "Order! Who, Ms. Delaney? Speak plainly." She shook her head, tears spilling. "I don't know his name. He came to my house. After. Said I'd lose everything if I talked." Alex's blood ran cold. After he'd been arrested. Someone had silenced her, twisted her into a pawn. He turned to the jury, his voice raw. "She's not lying. Someone's pulling strings. Ramirez, Tommy, this tape. It's not about me. It's about covering something up." Hargrove objected, but the damage was done. Doubt seeded the room like cracks in glass. Then Alex played his next card. "Your Honor, I call Maria Soto to the stand." A young woman rose from the back, short, fierce, with eyes that burned. Maria, his old neighbor, the one who'd seen it all. She'd tracked him down in lockup last night, promising to help. "I saw Ms. Delaney give Alex the keys," she said, her voice steady. "And I saw Ramirez watching her house that week. He wasn't patrolling. He was waiting." Ramirez shot up, face red. "That's a lie." "Is it?" Maria snapped. "You parked on her street 3 nights straight. I took pictures." She slid them across the table. Grainy shots of Ramirez's cruiser, time-stamped. The courtroom tilted. Judge Hawthorne ordered Ramirez to sit, his tone sharp. Alex felt the tide turning, but it wasn't enough. Tommy's testimony still hung like a noose, and the why gnawed at him. Why frame him now? Why this car, this night? As Maria stepped down, Alex caught her whisper. "Be careful. They're not done." He nodded, dread pooling in his gut. The day ended with no verdict, the jury sent to deliberate. Alex sat in his cell, the storm outside raging louder. He traced the scars on his knuckles, marks from that heist, from fists and broken trust. Tommy had betrayed him then, but this felt bigger, personal. He remembered the man in the suit, watching from the shadows that night. A voice on a phone, cold and clipped. "Clean it up." Had that voice found him again? Was Ramirez just a tool? Tommy a blade? And Ms. Delaney, her fear wasn't random. She'd seen something, someone, tied to that past Alex couldn't outrun. A guard banged on the bars. "Carter, you've got a visitor." Alex tensed. "Who?" "Some kid. Says he knows you." Down the hall, a figure waited, thin, jittery, with a hood pulled low. Alex's heart stopped. It was Benny, another ghost from East Haven. The kid who'd driven the getaway car that night, who'd vanished after the shot rang out. "Alex," Benny whispered, voice shaking. "They're coming for you. Tommy's not alone. It's him, the suit. He's here." Alex gripped the bars, the storm's roar swallowing his thoughts. The past wasn't just back. It was closing in. And tomorrow, in that courtroom, it might choke him for good. The fourth day dawned gray and relentless, the storm's echoes still rattling the courthouse windows. Alex paced his cell, Benny's words clawing at him. "He's here." The man in the suit, the shadow who'd orchestrated that bloody night 3 years ago, was no longer a ghost. He was flesh, power, and purpose, and Alex felt his presence like a weight on his chest. The trial wasn't just about a car anymore. It was a reckoning, and he was running out of moves. The guard escorted him in, cuffs clinking. The courtroom hummed with tension, the jury's faces unreadable. Judge Hawthorne took his seat, his gaze piercing. "Mr. Carter, your defense continues." Alex nodded, his throat dry. He'd spent the night piecing it together. Tommy's venom, Ramirez's aggression, Ms. Delaney's terror. Benny's warning was the thread tying it all to that heist. The cash they'd stolen hadn't just been money. It was leverage, tied to someone big, someone who didn't forgive loose ends. "I call Benjamin Ortiz to the stand," Alex said, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. Benny shuffled in, hood up, eyes darting like a cornered animal. Hargrove leapt up. "Objection! This witness wasn't disclosed." "He's a rebuttal to Tommy Vega's lies," Alex shot back. "He knows the truth." Judge Hawthorne waved Hargrove down. "I'll allow it. Proceed." Benny took the oath, his voice barely above a whisper. I knew Alex back in East Haven. 3 years ago, we did a job, a warehouse, cash. Tommy was there too." The gallery buzzed. Hargrove's face darkened. "Relevance, Your Honor." "It's relevant," Alex cut in, "because Tommy's here to frame me, and it's not random. Someone's pulling his strings." Benny swallowed hard. "We hit the place, but it went bad. Shots fired. I drove us out, but Alex, he didn't want it. He ran after. Tommy stayed, said he'd handle it. Next day he was gone. Jail. I thought it was over. Then last week he found me. Said Alex was talking, and we'd all pay if he walked free." Alex's heart pounded. "Who's we, Benny? Who's behind this?" Benny's eyes flicked to the back of the room. "Him, the suit. I saw him that night, watching. He's here now." A gasp rippled through the crowd. Alex turned, scanning the faces. There, near the exit, a man in a crisp gray suit, silver hair gleaming under the lights. His eyes met Alex's, cold and unblinking, a predator sizing up prey. The air thickened, time slowing. Hargrove slammed his hand on the table. "This is a circus, hearsay and fantasy." "Is it?" Alex fired back, pointing at the man. "Ask him. Ask why he's here. Why Ms. Delaney's scared. Why Ramirez doctored that tape." The suit didn't flinch, but Ramirez did, his chair scraping as he stood, face flushed. "I don't know that guy." "Then why's he watching?" Alex pressed, voice rising. "Why's Tommy lying? Why's Benny terrified?" Judge Hawthorne's gavel cracked like thunder. "Enough. Mr. Carter, you're treading thin ice. Substantiate this or move on." Alex took a breath, turning to Benny. "Tell them what you told me last night." Benny's hands shook. "Tommy said the suit's got power. Cops, lawyers, more. Said if Alex wins, they'll kill us both. Said it's about the money we took. It wasn't just cash. It was his." The room exploded. Shouts, gasps, Hargrove yelling objections. The suit stood, smooth as silk, and slipped out the door. Alex's stomach dropped. He'd seen him. They all had. But he was gone, a phantom leaving chaos in his wake. Judge Hawthorne ordered a recess, his face grim. As Alex was led back to holding, Maria caught his arm. "That guy, he's no stranger here. I've seen him with Hargrove before." Alex's mind raced. Hargrove? The prosecutor? The web was tighter than he'd thought, strangling him from all sides. In his cell, Alex sank against the wall, the cold seeping into his bones. Benny's fear, Miss Delaney's tears, Tommy's betrayal, they weren't random. The suit wasn't just tying up loose ends. He was rewriting the story, and Alex was the last page he needed to burn. A note slid under the door, scribbled, urgent. "They're coming tonight. Run if you can." No signature, but he knew Benny's shaky hand. Alex crumpled it, his pulse roaring. The trial wasn't over, but the fight was spilling beyond the courtroom. He had one day left, one chance to turn the tide. The jury would decide tomorrow, but survival? That was on him, and the suit was closing in, his shadow longer and darker than Alex had ever feared. The fifth day arrived like a guillotine shadow, sharp and inevitable. The courthouse trembled under a sky bruised with clouds, the air electric with anticipation. Alex stood at the defendant's table, his borrowed suit now a second skin, stained with sweat and resolve. His hands shook, not from fear, but from the fire burning through him. Benny's note lay heavy in his pocket. "They're coming tonight." Win or lose, this wasn't the end. It was a beginning, or a grave. The jury filed in, faces carved from stone. Judge Hawthorne's voice cut through the silence. "Mr. Carter, your closing statement." Alex stepped forward, his breath shallow. "I'm not a lawyer. I'm an 18-year-old kid who's made mistakes. But I didn't steal that car. Ms. Delaney gave me the keys, scared into lying by someone bigger than this room. Officer Ramirez doctored the tape. Tommy Vega sold me out for revenge. And that man in the suit?" He pointed to the empty doorway, voice rising. "He's the puppet master, tying us all in knots to protect his secrets. You saw the truth, Maria's photos, Benny's fear, the unedited tape. This isn't about justice. It's about power. I'm fighting for my life here. Don't let them take it." He sat, chest heaving, the jury's eyes locked on him. Hargrove's closing was slick, venomous, painting Alex as a delinquent, a liar, a threat. But his words rang hollow, the cracks in his case gaping wide. The jury deliberated for hours. Alex waited in his cell, pacing, the walls closing in. He thought of his mother, gone too young, her voice soft in his memory. "You're stronger than you know." He thought of that heist, the blood, the betrayal, the suit's cold stare. He'd run then, a scared kid. Now he stood, ready to face the storm. The guard's call came at dusk. "Verdict's in." Back in the courtroom, the air was suffocating. The foreman stood, a paper trembling in his hand. "On the charge of grand theft auto, not guilty. On the charge of resisting arrest, not guilty." A cry broke from Maria in the gallery. Ms. Delaney sobbed. Relief or guilt, Alex couldn't tell. Ramirez stormed out, face twisted. Hargrove sat stunned, his polish shattered. Judge Hawthorne leaned forward, his voice low. "Mr. Carter, your defense was extraordinary. The court commends you. You're free to go." Free. The word hit like a wave, lifting him, then crashing with dread. Benny's warning echoed. "They're coming tonight." The suit wouldn't let this stand. As Alex stepped into the hall, Maria hugged him, tears streaking her face. "You did it." "Not yet," he whispered, scanning the crowd. Benny was gone, vanished after his testimony. A chill snaked down Alex's spine. Outside, night swallowed the city. Alex slipped into an alley, heart pounding. Footsteps echoed behind him. Sharp, deliberate. He turned and there was Tommy, eyes glinting with hate, a knife flashing in his hand. "You should have lost, Alex." Before Alex could move, a figure lunged from the shadows. Benny tackling Tommy to the ground. The knife skittered away. "Run!" Benny yelled, wrestling Tommy's thrashing form. Alex bolted, legs burning, until he reached a payphone. He dialed Maria. "Get Ms. Delaney somewhere safe. They're not done." "Alex, where are you?" "Finishing this." He tracked the suit's trail. Whispers from old East Haven contacts led him to a warehouse. the same one from 3 years ago. Inside, the man waited, silver hair gleaming under a single bulb. "You're persistent," he said, voice smooth as ice. "But you're nothing." "You framed me," Alex spat. "Why?" "The money you stole, it was mine. Leverage over men who matter. You're a loose end." He drew a gun, steady, unhurried. Alex's mind raced. No weapon, no backup, just words. "Kill me and it's over. Benny knows, Maria knows. The court saw you. You're exposed." The suit's smile faltered. Sirens wailed in the distance. "Maria's doing," Alex realized. The man cursed, lowering the gun. "This isn't the end." He vanished into the dark as red and blue lights flooded the lot. Days later, Alex stood on a college campus, law school pamphlets in hand. The suit was gone, for now, but the fight had lit something in him. Ms. Delaney was safe, Benny in hiding, Tommy locked up. The system was broken, but he'd bend it back, case by case. He looked up, the sky clear, a rare smile breaking through. He'd survived the past. Now he'd shaped the future. The end. For Alex, a beginning. What did you think of his journey? Comment below. Did he deserve this win? Should the suit return? Your thoughts fuel the next story.